This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
The remoteness of the community, getting labor and materials on site is very challenging and expensive.
In the process to densify our urban areas, real estate developers are tearing down thousands of homes.
Tonight, a second chance at life, how these show homes are being repurposed in remote communities. Also,
a lot of pictures off the internet of big sleighs, and I just kind of taking highlights of those and building with them.
Brick by brick, Santa's sleigh comes to life with Lego. How you can see these amazing displays for charity this weekend. Plus, Adam finds out how a Saanich girl was inspired by a movie star to help local families in need. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. A show home that was slated for demolition is getting a new lease on life in a small community off the west coast of Vancouver Island. The home was moved from Delta to Alert Bay, where it's being repurposed by the Namgis First Nation. CTV's Anna McMillan has more on the voyage and how it could be the first of many.
2,500 square feet of show home sits on a barge near Alert Bay, just off the coast of northeast Vancouver Island.
Members were watching from all points, and just a flurry of social media posts watching this building move off the barge into place.
Namgis First Nation is repurposing the home, turning it into an admin building on the oceanfront.
It's so hard for us to build something from scratch because of the remoteness of the community. Getting labor and materials on site is very challenging and expensive. We're at the mercy of the weather a lot of the times and the ferry. Prior to yesterday's arrival, the show home was plucked from an industrial lot in Delta, saving it from demolition.
In the process to densify our urban areas, real estate developers are tearing down thousands of homes and buildings.
Namgis is working with Renewal Development, which says hundreds of demoed homes are in great condition and could be lived in.
It's shameful to see beautiful homes, beautiful buildings that have been fully renovated or well maintained thrown out, and to see all of those materials and products and craftsmanship thrown out.
A recent assessment by Namgis finds the small but growing community is in urgent need of roughly 150 housing units.
You see incredible waste out there. And on the flip side, you have communities like the Namgi Nation that needs good housing or good infrastructure.
Namgis has a plan to relocate roughly 70 homes to Alert Bay over 3 years. On January 24th, members are voting on whether the nation can take out a multi-million-dollar loan to make that happen. If it's a yes,
we're kind of mobilized and ready to go. I would hope that we'd start seeing homes moving within a couple months.
Meaning this week's massive move could mark the beginning of a housing boom.
It gave a lot of our community some hope for what could come next.
A future rooted in sustainability and free of the construction barriers that are common in remote communities. Anna McMillan, CTV News.
A First Nation outside of Port Alberni says the forestry sector in BC is in a state of emergency. This after 350 jobs were cut this week at the closing Crofton Mill. Sechant First Nation elected Chief Ken Watts sent an open letter to Premier Eby and the Minister of Forests and Finance, as well as Prime Minister Carney. Domtar, the company that shuttered the Crofton Mill, also owns a large mill in Port Alberni. The First Nation and a new forestry coalition in the region say the biggest issues are wood fiber access and stumpage fees. The fear now is that other BC mills will face the same fate as Crofton.
Obviously looking at creative ways to address stumpage, because it has to be affordable for tenure holders, licenses, First Nations to get the fiber out of the bush and into local mills and into paper mills that we have here in Port Alberni.
The Domtar operation in Port Alberni has over 100 employees. The Forestry Coalition says immediate steps need to be taken to ensure its future. Now, back in Crofton, the local government is calling for urgent action to protect families and businesses. The municipality of North Cowichan announced today it wants immediate details on how the province plans to support unemployed workers. It's calling for income support, retraining programs, and mental health services. North Cowichan also wants provincial support in making up lost tax revenues. The Domtar mill paid roughly $5 million in annual taxes. The province is releasing new guidance for doctors on involuntary care for youth struggling with mental health and substance abuse. The guide, developed by BC's Chief Scientific Advisor for Psychiatry and Toxic Drugs, will help physicians clarify when young people can be admitted under the Mental Health Act at their parent or guardian's request. The new guidance will be used by doctors around the province and apply to those under 19. The Premier says the guidance for involuntary care will significantly reduce brain injuries and death.
This is not an issue where everyone's going to agree. But I hope that we can all agree that we need to do our absolute best to provide frontline treatments and supports to kids if it means that they're not going to have a brain injury and it means they're not going to die of an overdose. I think that everybody agrees on that.
More than 2,000 beds in BC can provide involuntary care when needed. The province says more are coming online. Spandex-clad roadies and cyclists of all kinds be warned. BC Hydro says a closure on the Galloping Goose Trail needs to be extended. Hydro crews say challenging ground conditions mean a transmission cable project will go over schedule. Weekday closures near the Selkirk Trestle have been in place since November and were supposed to end December 19th. Now BC Hydro is adding this Saturday along with December 20th, 22nd and 23rd to complete the work. Lego enthusiasts say everything is better when it clicks, and that is exactly what's happening at the Parkside Hotel in downtown Victoria, all for a good cause. It's called Festive Bricks of Giving, benefiting the Rainbow Kitchen's school meal program that currently serves 6 schools in the capital region, providing more than 7,000 meals each month. There are 2 large Lego displays built by local artists. There's also a Lego certified professional building a life-sized Lego sleigh that Santa will be meeting children in tomorrow. Like many other charitable organizations, the Rainbow Kitchen says demand for its services are always increasing. And this year they have a goal of raising $50,000 to help support its school meal program.
Over the last 3 years, we have doubled every second year. So this is our 3rd year of doubling the need and doubling the growth and doubling the expansion of our food meal programs. Everything's for free. So food costs get more and the community changes as to who we see, how many more faces we see. It's staggering. And we're a small team and we start with no confirmed money every year and we have to get to close to $1 million in what are just what we need to survive. And so it takes a community, our neighbors who love us and donate us and want to see this work continue.
Admission is free, although donations are appreciated. Tomorrow, Santa himself will be in the sleigh from 9:30 to 12:30, meeting with children and making sure everyone has their list sorted out this year. Now, the sleigh consists of more than 12,000 bricks of Duplo Lego that professional Lego builder Robin Sather has been working on for the past 3 days.
Embedded in the wall, so it won't matter. So it's a good point, though. Otherwise, it would be structurally much more architecture and stuff. But I got the Star Wars medium size.
The 17th season of the Yellow Point Christmas Spectacular is coming to 3 island communities beginning next week. All singers, dancers, and musicians were getting their groove on during rehearsals this morning at the Vancouver Island Conference Centre. Now, this year's program will have a taste of 70s disco, 80s rock, and jazz mixed in with your favorite Christmas classics. The performances start Monday for 3 days at the Sid Williams Theatre in Courtenay. Then we'll head south to Victoria for 2 days at the McPherson Playhouse, and they'll finish the 2025 tour at the Port Theatre in Nanaimo.
I know many people make this their tradition at the holidays, and so we have a really fun show, very upbeat. Lots of great dance numbers and music, about 60 pieces of music in this year's show.
Tickets are available at the Yellow Point Christmas Spectacular website. Well, this Saturday is the 27th annual Truck Parade with more than 80 rigs all lit up, set to weave through the capital region. The Island Equipment Owners Association Truck Parade and Food Drive will traverse 35 kilometers of road through the region. Starts at 5 p.m. in the Breakwater District. Trucks will then make their way through downtown before hitting communities on the West Shore and ending in Colwood at Royal Bay. Organizers are asking for donations for local food banks, and donation locations can be found on their website. 11 degrees, some gray skies out there. Josh will be back after the break with the full forecast.
CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Explore the endless possibilities at one of our 36 BC locations. Learn more at expediacruises.ca.
What makes West Shore Parks and Recreation a perfect place to play? It's our staff, working behind the scenes to keep the pool safe, kids engaged, and programs thriving. So apply today and join our team.
Josh joins us now with a look at the weekend forecast. Josh, what's in store for us?
Thanks, Nafisa. We've got some showers that'll move into northern parts of the island overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. That'll wash across northern parts and sort of turn over to showers, then a bit of a break, and then some steadier rain in the north through Wednesday afternoon. Now, you'll notice Comox, Nanaimo, Victoria. I mean, there's maybe a couple scattered showers for inland areas, maybe up around Comox tomorrow. But for the most part, just looking at mostly cloudy skies. The best chance for rain is going to come Wednesday night and through the first half of the day Thursday. This is Thursday morning. Watch what happens as the day goes on Thursday. Now the rain starts to retreat, and so by late in the day, should be just cloudy skies in Victoria. Again, it's not going to be heavy, steady, non-stop rain for the next 3 days in the north, but each of the next 3 days, we will likely see at least some periods of rain. Temperatures not changing all that much in the 7-degree range for daytime highs right through the next 5 days, and by the weekend, chances of scattered showers. Could see a few hit and miss showers for inland areas. Temperatures holding steady at around 4 or 5 degrees through the day tomorrow. Not much change to temperatures on Thursday either, with some steadier rain, especially through the first half of the day. A few hit and miss showers on Friday, and then scattered showers potentially Saturday, Sunday. Out of the west coast, a few showers and 8 degrees tomorrow. Some steadier rain Thursday with a high of 9, and then 10 degrees Friday, Saturday. Each of the next 5 days, looking at a chance of rain. Comox, mostly cloudy skies, high of about 6 or 7 degrees tomorrow. You might see a scattered shower midday. Best chance is going to be Wednesday night through the day Thursday for some rain. Back into the 9 or 10 degree range and drier for Friday, Saturday. In Nanaimo, chance of some late day showers tomorrow, carrying through into Thursday. Again, by late afternoon Thursday, I think that rain moves out. Temperatures will be around 6 or 7 degrees, so pretty close to average Wednesday and Thursday, and then highs near 10 for Friday, Saturday with a mix of sun and clouds. You might see a few showers to close the weekend on Sunday. In Victoria, 3 degrees tomorrow morning. Cloudy with a few sunny breaks, high of about 7 or 8 tomorrow afternoon, and then late in the day, especially through the evening hours, you get a chance of some showers. That'll carry through into Thursday, as you just saw in Futurecast. Most, if not all, of that rain is gone by mid to late afternoon Thursday, about 8 degrees Thursday, and then double digits for Friday, Saturday. Mix of sun and cloud, high of 12 on Friday, 10 or 11 on Saturday with a chance of scattered showers and maybe a few hit and miss showers on Sunday as well. CTV Weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations.
Thanks, Josh. Well, soccer fans were up early this morning to attend a view party at the Irish Times pub in downtown Victoria today, but it wasn't to watch a soccer match.
My father always told me, in order to be the best, you got to play the best, and you have to beat the best. So I'm never worried about who I played. We played Russia, France, and Hungary in the World Cup, and everybody goes, you don't want to play them? And I said, why not? They're the best in the world.
The World Cup is going to have such quality in every group, in every nation. We've seen it every World Cup. There's always surprises. The favorites are the favorites coming in, and I think Canada's done an excellent job building a spirit behind the team, so I don't think that they fear anybody.
These fans were watching the World Cup draw, and the big question was, who will Canada play in this summer's tournament, and who will play in Canada? With more now on how it'll play out and what experts think Canada's chances are, here's CTV's Paul Hollingsworth.
48 teams, 12 groups of 4. Switzerland and Qatar will battle Canada in Group B. The 4th team in Canada's group will be determined based on the winner of an upcoming pre-World Cup playoff.
Between Italy, Northern Ireland, Wales, Bosnia, and Herzegovina.
As a host country, Canada automatically qualified for the World Cup and are ranked 27th in the world. With the complexion of their group competition taking shape, Canada now looks ahead to the World Cup, hoping to win a tournament game for the first time ever, and it won't be easy.
Well, obviously they got the toughest pot 4 team. We know that. We don't know who it's going to be, but thinking of it being a European team, and it could be Italy themselves, it makes it an extremely difficult game. But what an exciting match we're going to get in Toronto.
I think the highlight is absolutely Qatar.
Canada will play its first home match June 12th in Toronto before shifting to Vancouver for matches on June 18th and 24th. FIFA will unveil its full match schedule on Saturday, announcing all the games being played in Canada. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Washington.
Canada has long committed to procuring 88 U.S.-made F-35 fighter jets, but in light of lingering trade tensions and Sweden pledging up to 10,000 jobs if Canada purchased jets from them, the government has been reviewing its options. And new numbers from Nanos show what matters most to Canadians. CTV's Rachel Aiello has the details.
As the Canadian government contemplates following through on its procurement of Lockheed Martin's F-35s or diversifying the Air Force's fleet by also acquiring Swedish company Saab's Gripen E fighters, a Nano survey about procurement priorities is shedding new light on what Canadians think is most important. 40% said having the fighter jet that is the best solution. 28% said picking the jet that generates the most Canadian jobs. 18% said defense cooperation with Europe was the most important factor. Double the number of Canadians who said cooperation with the U.S. was key. And just 2% of those surveyed said the government should pick the lowest cost option.
What this shows is that if the government decides to change tact, it's actually going to have to explain why.
A recently leaked procurement document revealed the F-35 scored higher than the Gripen across a range of military and technical performance categories.
In your report and recommendations to the Prime Minister in this review, did you let him know that the F-35 beat the Gripen by a mile?
The review continues, and it will continue until it's complete. And I am quite sure that the kinds of metrics you're alluding to and referring to will find their way into the final report.
Experts say while the F-35 may be the better choice to maintain interoperability with the Americans, a diversified fleet compatible with more countries could also be to Canada's advantage. Even as critics suggest Saab's pledge to create 10,000 jobs in Canada is unrealistic.
There is no single best jet. It depends on the missions.
The defense minister hasn't committed to a deadline for when the government will decide what fighter jets will make up the fleet, replacing Canada's aging CF-18s. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Coming up, the girl and the governator. Adam finds out how a Saanich student was inspired by Arnold to help 77 local families in need. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
107.3 Virgin Radio is Victoria's #1 hit music station. Home of Bailey and Johnny in the morning. Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to 107.3 Virgin Radio everywhere.
Finally, Adam finds out how a Saanich girl is being inspired by a Hollywood star to help low-income families on this Encore Sawatsky Sign-Off.
When Maria Clara Patrick first watched that video of Arnold Schwarzenegger, she assumed they had nothing in common.
Well,
Yeah, he's 77. Well, I'm 11.
He's a famous movie star and former governor.
Well, I just go to middle school.
And then there were his vices.
Well, he drinks beer and smokes cigars. I just drink chocolate milk.
But then Maria Clara noticed that Arnold was handing out 1,000 turkeys to people in need.
I got really inspired.
Inspired to help low-income families in her neighborhood say hasta la vista to hunger over the holidays, and contacted the Shelburne Community Kitchen.
We work to connect good people with good food.
Executive Director Kim Cummins says Maria Clara wanted to donate 77 turkeys for Christmas dinner, the same number as Arnold's age.
Oh my goodness. Well, like the Grinch, my heart grew 3 sizes. It was just such a heartwarming story.
Now, Maria Clara is in the midst of a fundraising mission, which began with creating a slideshow presentation to inspire her classmates to join the cause by making a commitment to their parents.
If they do chores for a week, their parents gets to donate $25.
Maria Clara is also making presentations at local markets, her martial arts class, and to random strangers she happens to meet during the day.
I think children like Maria Clara can really remind us just how important it is to take care of each other and how simple it is to be kind and generous.
And while most of us have nothing in common with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Maria Clara says if we combine kindness with action, like the Terminator, you'll be saying, I'll be back.
Because it makes you feel happy after that when you help out.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Saanich.
That is it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night. Today on CTV News.
Oh, Canada! Oh, congratulations!
The groups are set and the countdown is on. Breaking down the FIFA World Cup draw and what does it mean for Team Canada? Also tonight.
This is not an issue where everyone's going to agree.
Had we had something like this in place, it may have helped save her life.
Getting teens into treatment against their will. The new guidelines to doctors in BC for putting youth into involuntary care. And a happy update for a Delta family trying to bring their adopted granddaughter home for Christmas.
This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. The stage is set. We now know who Canada will play in next summer's World Cup. The group stage matchups were announced today, and hundreds came out to a watch party here in Vancouver. CTV's Shannon Patterson was there.
Hundreds of people gathered here at Kraft in False Creek this morning for FIFA's official host city World Cup draw viewing party, where we learned the 2 teams that Canada will be facing at BC Place during the group stage.
Hoo-ha, Canada! Say hoo-ha, Canada!
The first team drawn, Canada's opponent at BC Place on June 24th.
Switzerland.
Well, the Swiss are always hard to beat. You know, they notoriously take down some of the biggest teams in their groups over the years in World Cups, and I think that's the mindset coming into that. They're going to be tough to beat, but they are beatable.
We have a really good team. I trust that we can handle our own versus the Swiss.
The next draw for Canada's game at BC Place on June 18th.
Qatar.
There's 3 of us here. We were actually in Qatar for the last World Cup, and it's kind of exciting to have the last host joining us here while we're the host.
Canada's opening World Cup match in Toronto on June 12th will be against the winner of a March playoff between Italy, Northern Ireland, Wales, and Bosnia-Herzegovina.
As Italian Canadians, it certainly makes things more exciting. I mean, it would have been nice if they played in Vancouver. It would have saved me a flight to Toronto, but it's such a special feeling. You know, Italy's my blood, but Canada's my home.
For Team Canada's players, the draw brings the group stage into focus.
As soon as you know who you're playing, that preparation becomes very specific. You start focusing on individual players, the individual tactics, and from here on out, I mean, it happens very quickly, and I know our guys will be ready.
So now we know who Canada will be playing in their 2 games at BC Place, but there are 3 more group stage matches here, and we'll find out which teams are playing in those games tomorrow morning. Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Now that Canada knows who it will face when the World Cup kicks off, community leaders here at home are calling for a game plan of our own to keep streets safe when fans flood the city.
If we want this event to lift neighborhoods, not strain them, if we want visitors to leave impressed, not overwhelmed, if we want residents to feel proud, not pushed aside, then we need a plan that matches the scale of the event.
Councillor Rebecca Bly is spearheading a motion to create a public safety and community readiness working group early next year. The idea is to build a coordinated strategy tackling everything from preventing harassment and gender-based violence to supporting local businesses and creating ambassador programs for visitors. Breaking news, it's an end of an era in Vancouver. The Hastings Racecourse has announced it is shutting down live horse racing immediately. Craig Krause is following this in the Breaking News Center. So, Craig, why are they closing?
Well, Nafisa, it appears to be simply a lack of money. In a statement, the operator said this is strictly a business decision based on a lack of economic feasibility to move forward with another season of horse racing at Hastings. So the Hastings Racecourse wrote in a statement that thoroughbred racing has been conducted between the months of April and October, and there are no horses currently stabled at Hastings. The company said this was an extremely difficult decision, especially given the historical legacy of the racecourse and its importance to the province's racing industry. The president of the Horsemen's Benevolent Protective Association of British Columbia reacted to this afternoon. Take a listen.
Deeply disturbing, deeply distressing. It's going to affect thousands of direct and indirect jobs across the province. Feed suppliers, breeders, farms, workers on the track, workers front side, taking tickets. It affects the livelihoods of the working people.
While the Hastings Racecourse says the operation of the casino in the simulcast racebook at the facility will not be impacted by this decision. We'll have more detail on this at 6 o'clock. Nafisa?
Thank you, Craig.
Yeah.
A fatal crash involving a pedestrian and truck is under investigation in Burnaby. Mounties say it happened just after 8 a.m. on Sprott Street near the Scotia Barnes Sports Complex. Nearly a kilometer-long stretch of the road spanning Norland and Kensington Avenues has been shut down for the investigation. Drivers are being asked to take alternate routes. Police have shared few other details about the crash, and it's unclear how many victims there are. One person is dead after being struck by a pickup truck in Abbotsford this morning. Crews were called to McCallum Road, just south of Busby Road, around 5:30 a.m. A person was found with life-threatening injuries, but they did not survive. Police say impairment is not believed to be involved, but the pedestrian's dark clothes and poor lighting are believed to be factors. The province is laying out new guidance for doctors for when involuntary care can be used for young people facing severe mental health and addiction challenges. The guidance applies to people younger than 19 who are unable or unwilling to take care of themselves. Until now, doctors were told to treat teens as mature minors, allowing them to choose what treatment to receive. The guidance released today says some can now be admitted against their will, including at the request of their parents or guardians.
In exceptionally severe cases, the least restrictive intervention is admitting and treating the child, even if it is against their wishes, trying to prevent brain injury and death, which is what truly restricts freedom and choice.
He says 1,500 youth suffer an overdose for the first time every year, and 7% of them suffer brain injury within the following year. The Premier says while not everyone will support this, it may significantly help children. A happy update now on a story we brought you earlier this week. A Delta family struggling through red tape, trying to bring their adopted granddaughter from Kenya home for Christmas. Jeff and Liz Bruce have decked the halls and wrapped the presents in hopes they could see their granddaughter Chloe at Christmas for the first time. Chloe was legally adopted in March by their son and his wife who live in Africa. They applied for a Canadian travel visa in the spring, but 3 weeks before Christmas, and their second application was still being processed. Now, CTV News aired their story, and this morning we heard from Chloe's grandparents after their son called from Nairobi with great news.
And at 7 o'clock, he phoned. He said, "Why aren't you answering your texts?" And I said, "Because I'm asleep." And he said, "Well, can we come home for Christmas?" So of course we all started yelling. Thank you so very much for helping us. We just can't thank you enough.
Yes.
You guys just made our Christmas.
Well, they say their son kept them on the phone to hear him tell Chloe that her visa was approved, clearing the way for Christmas in Canada. Both she and her 8-year-old brother cried with joy. Well, after the break, pushback on a plan to build a floating sauna spa near the Vancouver Maritime Museum. And later,
what does it mean for the people of the city? And because we want to be a bigger deal for the city.
Well, it doesn't get any bigger than this for the Vancouver Whitecaps, playing for the MLS Cup for the first time in the team's history tomorrow. How fans here are gearing up. Welcome back. We are one day away from the MLS Cup final in Florida, where the Vancouver Whitecaps will take on Lionel Messi and Inter Miami. It's the first time the Whitecaps have ever made it to the final of Major League Soccer's premier tournament. Driven by German legend Thomas Muller and strong supporting cast, including Captain Ryan Gauld, the Whitecaps fans are gearing up for what they hope is a classic cup final.
You look at this team, and it's a team who you can really truly get behind because they are fighting, like you feel they are fighting for you and for the city.
It's electric. It's exciting. It's almost like the World Cup's here already. I feel tomorrow is going to be one of my days as busy as Super Bowl.
The Whitecaps have made it to this final as questions continue to swirl about the team's future at BC Place or even in Vancouver. We'll have more on that coming up on CTV News at 6. A floating spa could be coming to Kitsilano's waterfront. The plan calls for converting a Second World War-era barge into a wellness amenity. But as CTV's Dimitra Maragos reports, not everyone is happy about the idea.
New wave of calm.
The business itself is a really great fit for Kitsilano.
The Vancouver Maritime Museum teaming up with Haven Sauna as the newest venture, repurposing a 1943 naval vessel into a space offering saunas and hydrotherapy.
The boat itself is a historic vessel.
David Jordan from the Vancouver Maritime Museum hopes this new amenity will drive up admissions.
We think that it will also really get people enjoying coming down and then also appreciating the location and the museum and generating interest in the museum site.
This won't be the first of its kind. Haven has another floating wellness space in Victoria's Inner Harbor. The company says this is an exciting new chapter.
It's just really co-aligned where everything that they needed we met and everything that we wanted they were meeting.
But people won't be able to jump in anytime soon. Site servicing upgrades need to be made. The anticipated opening date isn't until mid-2027. The conversations surrounding this new project are heating up. One woman voicing her concern about how it will impact the views in the area.
I'm not against the idea of having a wellness center with views, but this is not the place for it.
Elvira Lount, a longtime Kids resident, started this petition pushing back against the project.
So this is a public park open to everybody, and they're basically taking the view and privatizing it.
Jordan says he's seen the petition.
We welcome dialogue around questions that people have.
In terms of obstructive views, he says,
it's a different view, I suppose, is the answer.
Dimitra Maragos, CTV News, Vancouver.
Well, it's a special time of year for us here at CTV. We're building a mountain of toys, and we need your help to do it. We'll check in with Anne and see how Toy Mountain is coming along. And later, mysteries of the deep. It flips and floats, but what is it? That story's still ahead on CTV News at 5. We'll be right back.
Will you be brave?
Yes.
Will you be brave?
William Shakespeare and his wife celebrate the birth of their son, but tragedy strikes and the boy dies at a young age, inspiring Shakespeare to write a timeless masterpiece. We'll get a review of Hamnet right after the forecast, coming to you live from Toy Mountain. They've been building it since yesterday morning, and it looks like you're buried in it.
Yes, a whole bunch of squishmallows here, and yes, a lot of elves behind me building this toy mountain's absolutely huge compared to yesterday, and the toys keep coming in. So if you're in the Surrey area, if you want to do something tonight, come on down to Guildford Town Centre because it's a great night for it. Let's take a look at our forecast. The rain we saw earlier on has eased. We're seeing cloudy conditions right now. Here's a look at our satellite radar imagery. We're having a break in between systems. The next one is just offshore, and that's going to bring us unsettled conditions as we head through the overnight into tomorrow as well. For the southern interior, you're looking at showers for Vernon, morning flurries for Kamloops drying up, Revelstoke and Nelson. You'll see flurries transitioning on to showers with temperatures between 1 and 3 degrees for the central interior. Flurries for Prince George, some mixing for Quesnel, along the coast for Bella Coola, 4 degrees with periods of rain for the northern half of the province. It'll be soggy for Masset and Prince Rupert, some mixing for Terrace, 5 to 10 centimeters of snow for Fort St. John with a high of -14. For the North Island, showers for Port Hardy, unsettled with showers and breaks, 10 degrees for Campbell River and Comox. The South Island, you're looking at wet weather for Tofino and Port Alberni, dry from Nanaimo right down to Victoria with temperatures between just around 11 degrees. For the Sunshine Coast, 9 degrees, a few morning showers drying up. Showers up the Sea to Sky Highway for Squamish, some mixing for Whistler, and for us across the Lower Mainland. Starting off wet, clears up quite nicely. Temperatures between 9 and 10, and then heading into Sunday, it's going to be a soggy one. Warming up till 11 on Monday with periods of rain, and more rain on the way for Tuesday and Wednesday. So we're here at Toy Mountain for Toy Mountain at Guildford Town Centre. Joining me now is Jeff Weaver from Remax. I'm glad I found you. You're in a box of toys there.
Yeah, full of squishmallows.
So once again, you're here and you're giving us a big donation. So tell us what the donations are this year.
Yeah, this year we were able to purchase almost $39,000 in toys for the Lower Mainland Christmas Bureau. We're their largest physical toy donation year after year, and I'm so proud. None of this would have been possible without our sponsors, You Move Me, Costco, and Canadian Tire. Without their generous donations and sponsorships, and all of these toys were purchased by individual Remax agents' donations in your community. So.
That's amazing, and you do this. This is the third year with us, so how does it make you feel to be part of something like this?
Oh, it's amazing. This is actually Remax's 19th year with the Lower Mainland Christmas Bureau doing this, and we'd just love to give back. I mean, Christmas is such a special time for the kids, and all of these little things that we can do really make a difference for these families' lives and for the Christmas Bureau.
And we're so glad you're part of this as well, so thank you so much to you and all your elves helping us build Toy Mountain. And just a reminder that today we're on site at Guildford Town Centre until 7 o'clock tonight, collecting new unwrapped toys and some part of the Lower Mainland Christmas Bureau. Come say hi, drop off your donation, and help us build this mountain. Together, we'll put smiles on a whole lot of faces for the holidays. Can't make it out and want to help? Donate online at ctvvancouver.ca. Toy Mountain is made possible by our friends at Alpine Credits, Applewood Auto Group, and Triple O. So help us build this mountain, Nafisa. I'm going to lend a helping hand, too. Woo!
Just put a smile on my face. Thanks, Anne. Well, from Academy Award-winning writer-director Chloe Zhao comes a powerful story of love and loss that inspired the creation of Shakespeare's timeless masterpiece, Hamlet. Here's CTV film critic Matt Demers with his review of Hamnet.
He's got more inside of him than any man I've ever met.
Who are you looking for?
William Shakespeare. Don't be ashamed. Bring the Kleenex, because you will cry. The waterworks are going to come. This movie is that powerful and it gives you that much of an emotional gut punch, because it is about, you know, the love of their son, their young boy, and the loss of that kid. And as you mentioned, it's kind of interpreting what may have led to the creation of Hamlet. Just a wonderful movie, and the performances. I mean, Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal, for my money, I mean, they should be right at the top of the Oscar ballot this year.
The world's largest streaming company is buying one of North America's oldest entertainment studios, Warner Brothers Discovery, for almost $83 billion US. If approved, Netflix would be a behemoth, picking up a deep trove of famous Hollywood movies and shows from Casablanca and Gone with the Wind to the Harry Potter series and Superman. The deal will be scrutinized by US regulators, and some say they may not approve of the agreement. Coming up, take a look at this if you dare. What exactly is happening here? Robot dogs with human heads, and they're excreting Polaroids, but why? Find out after the break. How's this for terrifying? 2 window washers in the States were rescued after being left hanging off a high-rise 15 stories above the ground. This video captured by bystanders shows the 2 workers suspended mid-air after a scaffolding malfunction. First responders coordinated a plan to rescue the workers with a rope lowering system. That took nearly 2 hours, but both were brought to safety. Vancouver's most iconic retail buildings, the former Hudson's Bay flagship on Granville Street, is officially up for sale. The historic building is being listed by 2 commercial real estate firms, but it's unclear at this point how much the property is selling for. Hudson's Bay filed for creditor protection earlier this year under the weight of more than $1 billion in debt, eventually liquidating dozens of stores. For the 7th year in a row, Ryan Reynolds is raising money for Toronto's Sick Kids Hospital through his Ugly Christmas Sweater campaign. This year, he's using his platform to settle a score with a fellow Canadian.
It's me, Freddie Freeman.
What a loser.
Trust me, man. We know who you are.
You've really got some nerve coming here.
I just wanted to...
Freeman, the LA Dodgers all-star first baseman, guest stars in Reynolds' fundraising commercial, but his role in defeating the Toronto Blue Jays in the World Series makes him very unpopular among the Sick Kids patients. The young Jays fans threw stuffed animals and insults at him, but all in good fun. Reynolds joked that he invited Freeman, a dual citizen, to guest star before he broke the hearts of Jays fans. Now the preview of CTV News at 6, me, Jung Lee.
Nafisa will have more reaction to the glitzy World Cup draw. We now know 2 of the 3 teams that Canada will play in the first round. And more reaction to the police watchdog report into the fatal shooting of a Surrey teen with autism. The IIO reveals gaps in police training. What's happened since Chase's death? And Vancouver is considering major changes to boost the supply of housing at a time when the industry is struggling. Staff reports calling for easing requirements for below-market housing. What would that mean for affordable housing? And breaking news, police have closed off a section of 81st Avenue in Surrey after a serious accident involving a truck and possibly a child. The latest at 6. Nafisa?
Thanks, Mijang. Well, it turns out not all octopuses have 8 legs. Researchers encountered one with 7 in the deep sea, marking the 4th sighting in 4 decades. Plus, a bizarre art display shows a side of billionaires you've never seen. Well, take a look at this. Here's CNN's Jeremy Roth.
Have you ever seen an octopus with only 7 arms? Well, that's exactly what explorers with the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute recently spotted in the waters off California. I know you're thinking, but J-Ro, octopi have 8 arms. That's what makes them octopi. To which I say, what am I, a math magician? I'm just reporting the story here. What do you want from me? Sorry. Researchers say the 7-armed Halifron atlanticus is a known species, but is a very rare sight indeed, as they've only laid eyes on it 4 times in some 40 years of ocean exploration. And if you think this deep-sea creepster is the weirdest thing you'd see today, buckle up. Yes, those are robot dogs with human heads, and yes, they are pooping printed pictures. The bizarre spectacle is part of an exhibit in Miami, courtesy of the artist known as Beeple, who says the crazy creations featuring the heads of influential figures like Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and Andy Warhol symbolize how power and persuasion in art and business shape the way the rest of us see the world. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
It's actually going to shape my nightmares for the next few nights. CTV News will return with me, Jung Lee, at 6. Right now, though, here is Heather Butts with CTV National News. Have a fabulous weekend.